Your fear of being stuck and stagnant a year from now, 5 years from now, that fear has to be greater than the fear you have that he'll finally be the perfect guy for the next woman. Is the mic on? Is the mic on? I said, your fear of being stuck and stagnant a year from now, 5 years from now, that fear has to be greater than the fear of him finally becoming the perfect guy for the next woman. And your fear of losing you needs to be way more pertinent and at the top of your list than the fear of losing him. And I'm telling you something I know. I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard. As someone who's recently gotten out of a toxic situationship, ooh, child, that is a whole nother video for a whole nother day. But I'm speaking from experience, and one of the main things that kept me holding on hope for so long in a situation that God was clearly telling me was dead. Everything about the situation was let it go, let it go. But the thing that kept holding me there, and I say this as someone, a lot of times when you talk about this, people are like, oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're this. I say this as an educated woman. I say this as a spiritual woman that is on fire for the Lord. I say this as a woman who is well traveled, who has lived life, who comes from a great village. I grew up on love, not survival. So all of those things, we could just cut across all that. And still, I was staying stuck tied in something, all because it was just that one little seed of, even though this man's track record has shown time and time again that he's not going to change what the issue was for whatever reason, I was like, no, but what if the one time that I finally break out of this cycle of all the chances that he's never changed, what if this is the one time I jump off and choose me, and that's when it's going to click for him. And then now the next shit going to slide in, and now it's a well-oiled slot machine, and I don't get the jackpot. That's exactly what kept me stuck in this and would reel me back in, even though everything, both in the spiritual and the natural, in the common sense realm, every realm you can think of, was like, baby, this ain't it. So I say to you, same thing. Baby, this ain't it. It's not. And you have to ask yourself, okay, let's address the fear head on. I used to say like, oh my God, it's going to be somebody else. Oh my God, somebody else. And okay, say yeah, it's going to be somebody else, and now what? It's still not you. And that's okay. If anything, that's probably meaning God don't want it for you anyway, which why then would you want it? Catch that. That's a gem. If God doesn't want it for you, then why do you want it for you? The one entity, I was going to say person, that can see everything, the whole game board, and he's like, nah, you can't see it, but I'm telling you, you don't want it. So if that's the case, I don't want it either. That's like having somebody that's standing around the game table and they can see everybody's hand and they give you the hookup on some, don't play. Why would you not listen to them and you can only see from a limited perspective? So let that bless you like it blessed me as it came out. But back to my point. So, okay, yeah, let's say you move on, you finally choose you finally read the signs, stand up and gather your things and go about your business. And let's say, yeah, now the next person comes and now he is all of a sudden the perfect guy. Is that really the story you want? God is not the author of confusion. Side note, check out my video, You Are Not Confused. But God is not the author of confusion. So you think that the man God made just for you, God would let you first go through all of this and all of this turmoil, abuse, whatever, getting dragged through the mud, which already doesn't align with the character of God. He will let you go through that just to then, when you finally choose yourself, all of a sudden let him go be the guy he made him for somebody else, even though he made him for you. Now, come on. My degree is in broadcast journalism, but I was decent enough in math to know that that's not adding up. So on the flip hand, it's like, okay, maybe it wasn't for you. And let's say best case scenario, it's going good for them. It's going good for them. That still means that you still have to have that what does God have for me spirit, of what does God want to do in me spirit, despite whatever he got going on, despite he may be living his best life with Kathy Sue or whoever. And we love that for them. But back to my path that has already been carved out before I was in my mother's womb, I'm going to worry about that path. And it's still flourishing. It's still nourished and all of those things. So if God is being like, oh, that's not what I have for you. He was always destined for that other woman. How much more does that mean you're closer to what he has destined for you and the man he has for you? And the blessing of the Lord addeth no sorrow. So that means you shouldn't be in the same predicament with the one that's coming. So let that bless your life. At the end of the day, that fear of being stuck and stagnant a year plus from now has to always outweigh the fear of what if I finally choose me and that's the time he's going to get it. The track record doesn't line up, sis. He's not going to get it. Just like he didn't get it the other 5 million times. And if he does, that just means that it was always ordained for him to get it once you left because he wasn't for you.